Craig, don't fuck up like you
Bring
usually
in
do, you
power.
stupid bitch.
And Pal is here too now.
Nice, nice. Well, I don't see him on my screen, but
It's on mine.
Don't worry, he's there.
cool, cool, cool.
Alright, guys, today is the 16th of March. It is 7:45 p.m. for me. Don't know about the others, they don't matter. Hope everyone is doing well. We are the other podcast up. We hope you listened to it and did the ping. We know a few people have. Don't know about the others.
Well, didn't you say that they listened to the first one for sure?
Yes, because that's
But
that's where it came. I don't know about the second one.
So just listen to the one previous to this one, because who knows, you might win something, and you want to win something. But we do appreciate, like Dav said, those who are listening and taking part in these server conversations.
And also sending out those pings wherever appropriate.
And also talking shit about Smallville. I'm just kidding.
I don't think anyone in the server did that.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think they actually like it. I respect it. Disagree with it, but I respect it.
Yeah.
So, let's get started. Dav, how's your week? I can't even speak. How's your week?
Dav, how has your week been?
Well, we had Mother's Day, which was pretty nice. We just had a roast and enjoyed that.
Hold on. Like a roast, like your mom was so fat, or like
no.
That would be an interesting Mother's Day activity, though.
To be fair, you did say roast, so that's
first. Fair. That's fair. No, like we had
like
bird
chicken roast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was quite nice. But other than that, we didn't really do much. My niece ended up in hospital with appendicitis, so that's not fun. She's accident prone to anything and everything, so yeah. But she's all right now. She had the surgery yesterday, and I think she's still in hospital now. I don't know. I'll call my
she got it treated though, right?
Yeah. It should be sorted now. I went straight to my sister today because I've been busy. But other than that, I haven't really done much. Work starts up in about just under a month. Looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it. Something to do. Then I remember the clients, and I'm like, I hate all of them. But
it's fair, man. It's a job. You just got to make the money and move on to something better later on.
Exactly. What about you? What have you guys been doing?
I was actually just interviewing for a job, so that's why I was slightly late to join the call. But I feel like it was just a phone screening, not actually like an official interview per se. Just kind of like where HR calls you and is like, okay, is this guy crazy or is he like relatively stable? And I feel like I came off as generally pretty stable, so hopefully in that regard I'm good. As far as the next steps go, yeah, well, I mean, it was less than an hour ago, give or take. So yeah, we'll basically just kind of see where it goes from there. And in terms of the rest of the week, it's been pretty chill and nothing terribly exciting has happened. Just kind of, taking it one day at a time, as tends to be the case this past year. For those of you who are, acknowledging the date that Dad mentioned earlier on, happy coronaversary, because in many parts of the world, March 16th was actually the official date of like stringent lockdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Which it gets kind of crazy if you think about it, because March 10th last year, Call of Duty Warzone came out, and then March 11th, the entire country of the United States just like shit itself and shut down. Kind of wild. And then the 16th, like you said, for most of the rest of the world.
Yeah, like I remember it was crazy. Like we were already kind of winding down before the 16th here in Canada. And I remember I actually went to a nightclub on the night of the 14th, which admittedly was not the best thing to do. But I did it anyway because my buddy from Germany happened to have been visiting. And as far as I know, I definitely didn't get sick, and I don't think he got sick either. But yeah, no, it was a pretty crazy to think that was all a year ago, because it feels like a decade at this point.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And the more shit changes, the more it stays the same. At least here. As for myself, week has been rather eventful. I got my coronavirus shot.
So you're walking around with COVID right now. Got it.
Fuck that! I'm not even trying to go out.
Yeah, so what would there be to do exactly, even if you wanted to go out? Like, what's open for you guys?
The
For me?
supermarket.
Yeah. I'd
The
imagine
Yeah,
there's
supermarket.
not really
I
much
hope
for you to
I hope
do.
that's open, because like, how the fuck are you gonna eat otherwise? You can only get like Uber Eats for so long.
Yeah, exactly. No, we haven't. There isn't much of anything opened here.
Yeah.
It's not Texas where oh man, the coronavirus don't exist. But no, there's still a lot of restrictions here. So yeah, there's not much to do anyway. Even if I did go out, but I wasn't gonna go out. I just got it because, as you guys know, I have higher risk of getting it because of the heart attack I had and my heart condition. So I just took it as a precaution. I ain't trying to go out until for sure. Like Dr. Fauci's like, y'all, very rarely likely that you get it. And if you have the vaccine, you won't get it at all. Then I'll go out. But no, I haven't done that. Her wife had kidney stones. She's feeling a lot better right now.
Oh,
Thank
Alex, man,
God.
kidney stones are absolute murder.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. I was there, and then yeah, I took her to the hospital because the pain was so excruciating. She couldn't handle it. And then the following day, I took her again, and it was just rather hectic because like I'm trying to help her, but I didn't know what I could do because any form of touch would have just hurt her more because of the pain she was feeling because of the kidney stone. So, but like I said, she's feeling a lot better. So yeah, this week has been both good, or last week anyway, was both good and bad. So I was like, I'll take it, I guess, but maybe let's tone down the hurt my wife is feeling. And then I have a problem because I don't watch anime. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know why I'm on this podcast anymore. I don't watch anime, but I'm constantly rewatching Goblin Slayer. So I feel
We
like
don't really talk about anime like that often. We are more manga around here. We only talk about anime when there's like a random occurrence, like the whole Malgakuin thing or the
To be
Eden
fair,
Zero preview.
to be fair, most of us are just shit talking each other.
this is true. This is
Yeah.
this is just
That's actually what most of this is.
you like Gotham, you're a fucking moron. Oh, you like Smallville, shut the fuck up. Oh, you think
Why do you
Andrew
like Gotham,
Garfield's
you fucking weirdo?
Whoa,
No.
weirdo. Well, that's rude. Man, that's upsetting. I ain't gonna call
I
me
thought that
weird.
was the point of this.
But no, yeah. So hopefully, things keep turning up and looking bright. But as we've mentioned, it's only been a year, but we don't want to get complacent and then go back to how we were without actual scientific backing that it's okay to go back to how it was. Anyway, with that little depressing note, Dev, what's the news of the week or the last week?
The news of the week. We had a bit of news. So I think the biggest thing for us was the Eden Zero anime trailer drop, the PV.
As well as the opening song and I think the ending song as well.
There were snippets of them in the PV, which is nice.
I think they didn't they officially release as well.
No. So what it is, the name is released and there's a snippet in the PV. The songs are being released. I think it's like officially shortly after the anime, if I recall correctly, but they haven't been released just yet. However, there is a leaked version of the opening. Quality is not the best, but it has been leaked. Someone in Japan did get it and they have uploaded it. Don't know how long it's going to be on YouTube for, but it's there.
If I was in Japan, I wouldn't even risk trying to do that shit because
with the flipping. Well,
their laws. Yep.
So it's interesting. I posted it in chat. It's actually the quality is not actually that bad for the fact that it was like leaked.
So we have to talk about the PV. I'm assuming we all saw the PV, correct? The official trailer one.
Yeah, the one that came out for Netflix just a couple of days ago.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was the
one that's actually like story based and not just like random shots from like random episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. There was the English one with English subs, and then there was the one with the no subs.
Well, I mean, if you watch on Netflix, you can turn them on and off because subs are captioned over there for like accessibility purposes.
Wait, hold on. Japan has subtitles on Netflix?
No.
What? I'm talking about
Never
YouTube.
mind. Oh, I was all excited. I was like, "Fuck it, never mind." But nah, you just ruined my day.
Sorry.
Fucking hurt.
You'll get over it.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, we're going on a bit of a off topic.
Tangent.
Yes. So we are going to talk about the trailer. Well, first thing I want to talk about is what did you guys think of the opening song? The snippet of the opening song. What did you think?
I love it. I
think it's pretty good. I'll be honest. It's probably not up there with like Fairy Tale's best, but like it's not bad. Maybe if I hear like more of it, I'll get into it.
Well, the full song is in chat now, so when you finish, you can have a listen to it.
Sure, yeah, I'll take a look at that.
I really, really like it. I do think I think it is going to give the season 1 the hype that it needs for each episode. So I think it will do its job, which is what we want an OP to do. And the guy who made the song, I can't remember his name. What is it? Takanori. He's done some other good songs as well. I can't remember the names of the top of my head,
which ones?
I'm gonna find it now. But he's done popular OPs.
Yeah. Well, you find that, and so King, you said you like it, but it's not like top tier Fairy Tale.
Right? Yeah, I'd say that.
That's fair. For me, I think I fucking love it. It reminds me of Fire Force for some reason, which the Fire Force opening, not the actual series, but like
Inferno.
I don't know. It has that it had that intrigue that it gave, and I was like really amazed by it because I was like, oh, it'll probably just be your standard anime opening, but nah, you could tell. At least I feel like they're really going all out for Eden Zero, trying to make it a hit.
Okay, so he has done. Let's see. So he did one of the Bleach movies, Hellverse. It was the ED. He did D. Grayman, Darken and Black. He did Marvel Disc Wars, The Avengers, and he did all of the Mobile Gundam Seeds. He did insert songs for them as well as OPs.
Okay, I remember that.
He did Real Life ED2, Samurai Kings, Soul Eater, first OP, Thunderbolt Fantasy.
That one's actually really well known.
He also did Fate Lost Encore OP, which is a nice one. ED4 for Soul Eater. More Thunderbolt Fantasy. So he's done quite a lot. And a lot of those are very popular opening songs. He also did a Kamen Rider 01 OP.
That's the Power Rangers. That's a Japanese Power Rangers.
Yeah, basically.
So Power Rangers is technically Japanese. Kamen Rider is like a different franchise, basically, but it follows a similar principle of like a transforming hero.
He's done quite a lot.
Okay.
And his stuff that he has done, especially ones I've heard, I really like. So I'm excited for it. And when I heard the full version, I decided to add it to my playlist even until the official's released. The quality is not the worst.
Okay, so he's done. So he's essentially like one of the bigger opening.
I would say he's one of the big ones, but he's known.
I would say like he's like the bigger ones, definitely not he wouldn't be one of those, but like he's probably enough such that if you watch enough anime, you'll have come across him once or twice.
Yeah, you
Like I
will
didn't know he did
recognize
the
the
first Soul
thing.
Eater opening. That one's actually like a pretty legit cred.
So, well, basically, I'm not saying he's like a superstar, right? Because there's
Basically,
he's like B
we're good.
tier, B
Yeah, it's
tier,
good that we got
B
him.
tier
Yeah.
higher,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And
okay.
not like B tier as in like, you know, shitty, like everything it sucks, but like, you know, like if there's like an S, A, B, C, D kind of thing, then yeah, like he'd probably be like a B.
B or
And he's
B or
only,
low
he's only
A,
going to
maybe
get
low
more
A.
known.
Mm-hmm.
I
only
feel
gonna
like
get
B
more
is
known.
pretty. I feel like A is pretty. B is pretty accurate.
That's fair. No, I'm just saying for those who really like him, he'll probably be like an A. But for like
Yeah, maybe
standard,
for like the
Yeah.
typical anime fan who's not like super invested in EDs and his work and stuff.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
The ED, however,
Mm-hmm.
what was the name?
I don't think we hear that in the trailer. No, right?
No, Eden through the Wrath. No, we didn't hear the ED.
All right, good. I was just making sure because I didn't want to be like, oh, I didn't.
The website is up and running. I remember before the website was up, but there wasn't much to do on it. Edens-0.net is actually running now. Like, there's a lot of stuff on it. It's all Japanese, so it's not really going to do too much for you. But
there is an English website within it, if I'm not mistaken.
oh wait, there is language. Oh wait, there we go. Let's have a look. Let's see what information it gives us, because it looks like it's really informative. Okay, so anime first key visual, and then there's the anime. You can get anime wallpapers as well. Game trailer, game. So there's stuff on there for you to get, especially with the wallpapers.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives an introduction to the show. So for those of you who don't know what the Eden Zero is about, because we do see it a lot, you can go onto the site and you will be able to see what exactly it is about.
I'm excited.
So, there's also a nice PNG.
Yeah. Now, so we've talked about the song choice and the composer. What did you guys think of the overall trailer for it? King, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man, I thought it was like pretty solid. I didn't really have any complaints about it. From what I've read of the manga, it got pretty much to exactly where I stopped reading. And in terms of like representing that stuff in the anime format, I thought it was doing a pretty good job. In terms of like the technical aesthetics, there are a couple of like shots that I thought were like, you know, a little bit off model, but then I noticed several of them and I'm like, okay, is this just like a more exaggerated facial style that they're going with, or are these like actual mistakes? I don't know. I'd probably have to actually watch an episode to find out, but they're not like too bothersome if they are the aesthetic, but it's just something I noticed. And in terms of I really like the color palette they do here. I really like how everything is like very vibrant and refreshing. Like I was getting a little tired of like Fairy Tail after like the Sun Village arc, because
yes.
Tartarus too, but like I think it really started in the Sun Village because like that's the whole prologue, and then all the colors got like super great and washed out, and it was just kind of annoying. And like to an extent, it like made sense in that arc because it is so dark, but like even during like Alvarez, it wasn't really back to where I would have wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be as bright as the first anime because that one had its own set of issues, but I do feel like they could have done a better job, especially once they had the 2018 the revival or whatever it was, because that is like it's the same studio, right? But like you know the content is different, so you can make it better because things are getting better in terms of like the series, so to speak. It's not as like dark, even if the villains are more dangerous. But I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of that whole thing. So I do like that they're doing something different with Eden Zero. I really did appreciate that.
All right. Nice. So based on your review, you're obviously gonna check it out. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I will be checking it out in April once it debuts.
Nice. Now, Dev, what did you think of the trailer?
I really loved it. I think the trailer's done a very good job at giving us so much information, but so little at the same time, because it's showing you so much that can happen. The way the world is going to be, the way the characters are going to be, especially from like our perspective where we know what's going to happen. We're seeing, they're including, there's this and this. Oh yeah, we're going to see this. For someone who hasn't read it, they're going to be like, oh, what's that? Oh, okay. Oh, what's she do? What's he do? So I think it's done a really good job without actually giving too much away, which I've noticed there are often times where a PV might give away stuff that it'd probably be better if it didn't. But I think the anime, the OP, when it was thrown in, really hyped it up even more.
Yeah,
and I know that all the others felt the same because as soon as we posted it, I mean that came out at like
7 p.m. 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, so it was 3 a.m. for me. So between 7 and 3, basically, for the server. And Zero Anime chat was just going. It was popping. And it was going for like a good 15 hours even after.
Yeah. Yep. I was there for a bit.
The only thing that now, this is going to be weird coming from me, right? It's going to be weird coming from me, but the images that we've had of the characters, right? The character designs, especially in the visuals and so on. Rebecca looks a lot more thicker than what her actual design is, and it doesn't really look. I'm gonna put the word down to natural, I guess, compared to what she actually is. I'll put a picture in chat for us. Compared to how she is in the actual manga, typically I don't mind, but I'm happy that when I watched the trailer, they didn't keep that extra thickness, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Her thighs are ridiculously bigger than they usually are.
Yeah, which is why...
Yeah, they're actually just straight up bigger than her head.
Exactly. So I'm happy that in the trailer, it doesn't look like they kept that design. It looked like that design was only really for a visual. So
or maybe that was their initial plan, and Mashimo's like, "Y'all gotta chill," even though they don't draw him that ridiculous.
They saw enough of the fans saying, "Yo, what the why is Rebecca looking thicker than what she needs to be?" But yeah, it doesn't look like they've kept that, which is nice.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of weird coming from you, like you said.
Exactly. The voices. Every character sounds like I would accept them. Like I had in my mind. Pino especially sounds absolutely adorable. So I think this is going to go very well.
Yeah, okay. So who was, based on the small trailer we saw, who was your favorite voice actor? Obviously, it's a super small sample size. Yeah. But which one do you think fit the best?
Honestly, I want to say Pino. I think Pino fit the best. But Rebecca was also really nice. So it's a toss-up between those two. I would probably lean more towards Pino just because the voice suits Pino really well, considering whenever I've read the chapter, I've always read her as having a very, very childish voice. Or very young voice, shall I say. And I'm sure every other reader also pictures, even though she's a robot, you still picture her as, she's like the baby of the group. Okay.
King, do you have one? I know you don't read much of the series, but which character do you feel the voice suits best, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I don't necessarily have a problem with any of the voices that I did hear. I thought all of them suited him pretty well, their characters pretty well. Okay. The one I would say was pretty decent, though, in particular, and maybe this was just because I was impressed by the way they introduced him, and forgive me, I forgot his name because it's been so long since I read the manga, but who's the blonde dude?
Sting Sun.
Yeah, Weiss.
Weiss, okay. Yeah, I thought that dude, like, I know he was very brief in his appearance, but I don't know. I thought I liked the way that happened, but maybe that was more circumstantial than anything else. I would have to watch more, but I liked his.
Okay. Now, just to echo some of the same sentiment as both of you, I really enjoyed the trailer. Like you said, that there is hints of future storytelling, and potential arcs that we may cover, including the four and our good old buddy Ziggy. I won't say more, but that little silhouette, if you will, was kind of spectacular. I thought the opening song, like you said, within the trailer fit perfectly well. It felt like it was actually a part like of that scene, so that was fascinating. As far as the voice acting that I feel like fits the character the most, I think Homer is
I was
fits
literally going to say I changed my answer to Homer because I just rewatched the trailer.
because Homer it just fits perfectly, and I thought it was incredible, and I'm it's fucking amazing. But yeah, I like you guys said, all the voice acting feels like it'll match the characters or they will grow into the characters. But for me, Homura is just instantly. I was like, "Yep, that's Homura. That's homegirl gonna be kicking some major ass," and you already know she's gonna be kicking ass because there's like an explosion behind her and shit. And you're like, "Yep, all right, makes sense. Cool, cool, cool." So, yeah, that's something. When does the series start? April 10th, correct?
Yeah, so it's April 10th is when it drops on
In Japan.
Now, this is where the issue comes in that a lot of the fans have noticed, and it's a little bit upsetting. It's going to be on JP Hulu, that's confirmed, and JP Netflix. Now, Netflix, not to bag on them, Netflix is a very great site when it comes to having shows on because it's very easy to binge and it's very accessible, and everyone's got Netflix. The only problem is the Netflix jail that they have. Anytime an anime, I'm not saying anytime because there's been a handful that weren't in this. Well, I say I have like one or two off the top of my head. Whenever an anime gets put onto Netflix, they release it all in one go. Now, you might think that sounds great. It does, but only do that once it's finished airing, which means if it starts on April the 10th, we're not going to get it on our Netflixes until about the 26th of August, I think is what it is.
Yeah, that's what I read. That's what the trailer said, I think.
Yeah. Now, it means that we get it all in one drop so you can binge it, which is great. No one likes waiting weekly for episodes. However, that will, and I say this utmost, that will kill a lot of the Eden Zero anime hype. Having it drop like that.
Okay, we could have that conversation right now. So yeah, like you said, it's gonna drop. Legally, it will drop on the 26th of August. Internationally, outside of Japan. Obviously, there's gonna be websites and YouTube channels or whatever that will most likely have the fan subs, if you will. So it'll be interesting. But one thing I think we should add is the conversation we were having off quote unquote air that that the anime translation and the manga translation will be independent of one another, and I got this information from 11th Doctor. As many of you know, they are very in tune with the Eden Zero news, so I had no reason to believe they were lying. But they've mentioned how, let me get the exact same quote. The official manga release translation and the anime translation will be independent. So they won't necessarily follow the manga release line by line or anything like that. And based on that statement right there, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
For anime only, but they won't know the difference. For us, who have read the manga, I have faith that it won't be too bad. Won't be too different. Like you mentioned before we started, as long as if they're just changing some words here and there for different synonyms, or they're altering the plot ever so slightly just for the way things are animated, I won't mind it. But the moment they start altering the actual plot from what it's meant to intend, is when it, to me, becomes either anime original or it just becomes a bad adaptation. I don't know how much fairy tale manga and anime is akin. Like, I don't know how line for line they are. I'm just hoping that it's not going to end up in a situation. I don't know if any of you've checked out Horimiya, the anime. So Horimiya is a romance anime where the manga is very good. The anime is also very good, but the anime is basically, it's a bad adaptation, but a very good anime. And as a standalone, it's very good. But all the manga side of the fan base absolutely hate it because they've changed the entire narrative to force focus onto one character as opposed to, I think there's like 3 or 4 other characters that all get development. So while it's meant to be this whole group of characters, it's forcing the focus onto one. I'm hoping we don't end up in a situation similar to that where we start having certain characters have less of a screen time and certain characters start getting more. That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
Regarding the translation issue, to the extent that I'm aware of, particularly back in 2014, this might have changed year upon year. I do know that Crunchyroll did do their best to like mirror the translations based on stuff that I heard from other people who translated manga back then. I don't know if that was like the case in like 2010 or whatever, and I don't know if it was the case in like 2018, but there was definitely a point where they were trying to like make them more simultaneous because they were responsible for that stuff. So yeah.
Okay, but see, there's gonna be that might be different now because Crunchyroll won't have access.
Yeah, no, you're right. It could very well be, and it's a different production studio as well, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
production studios these days actually get a lot of say in how foreign companies adapt or dub even their works. It's very interesting.
I'm just hoping. I don't want to see the word fucking. I don't want to see the word friend in every other freaking scene.
That's our fear.
Yeah,
our fear is
that's very
seeing
understandable.
Friend every episode when it shouldn't be friend in whatever situation it's in.
Yeah, because there's early on when Shiki would talk about his comrades, certain groups would just translate it as friend when he meant more like ally.
Oh, Spidey, your mic just went weird.
Yeah.
Is he good now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, he's back.
Did you guys hear what I said?
Yeah, you said that when certain groups are translating the series, Shiki in the context of the series was saying something like the word, ally or comrade, but they would just translate it to friend because the Japanese word would kind of just consistently be nakama.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just hoping whoever translated for Netflix doesn't commit the same error because I feel like that'll just hinder the growth of the series. So
yeah, and I think it'll also like draw even more comparisons to Fairy Tail in that regard.
Oh, and trust me, with the Skull Fairy, there's already gonna be enough of that. We don't want more.
I mean, yeah, like we're never gonna stop it, unfortunately. But I'm just saying, like, if the translation resulted in that, like, it will happen. And the worst scenario to me is like if a translator who maybe previously worked on Fairy Tail works on this and tries to do that as like a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke, then it would be even worse. And I'm like, please, for God's sake, don't do that.
Yeah, please don't. I'll stay subscribed to Netflix. Okay. Well, what would be the final grade you give this trailer? Do you feel like it brought in a new audience? Maybe would not have given it a chance previously.
I will add something to that question, but broadly speaking, I would say yes.
Okay, and what would you like to add to that question?
So I actually saw a lot of it the last 2 days, in fact, because for those of you who spend a lot of time on Twitter, you may notice that Fairy Tail was trending. This might change depending on which particular area of the world you live in, but I don't know who necessarily started it, but somebody started this one of those Twitter lists where it's like, in this case, you would list your first anime, the best anime, the worst anime and the last anime which you watched, and people would, Fairy Tail appeared quite often in the people's list, normally either in the first anime or in the best anime category, and in some cases I actually saw it listed in all 4 categories. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? So as a result of like Fairy Tail, people talking about that, and some people were like talking about Eden Zero as well, like, oh, I'm so excited for Eden Zero, etc., etc. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. It's not often that we see Fairy Tail trending, so when we do, I do try to like make it a point on Twitter to post something about it and just try to generate a little bit of engagement like that.
Okay. And what would you give the overall trailer? Like score out of 5?
Like a rating?
Yeah,
out of
rating.
5?
Out of 10, whichever one you prefer.
10? I'd say it's probably like a solid 8. I think it's good enough to like get some new viewers, but not like it's not one of those things that's gonna like break the internet. So it's good enough. Yes, 8 probably.
Okay. And Dev?
Before I go on to it, we did get a snippet of we did get the name of the ED. It's called Buka no Vlog by Chico with Honeyworks, and it's coming out on the 28th of April. That has been leaked as well, but there's nowhere, it hasn't been uploaded anywhere, and no one can find it. They've done other fairly popular stuff. They did Gintama, OP2, ED1, and Haikyuu to the top, ED1, Magic Kaito, OP2, and then they did O Maidens in Your Savage Season, the OP, and then they did Other Side Picnic OP, which is a nice one. And they did something called Pre Chi-chan. So both sides of our staff for music is pretty nice.
Okay.
They're not the most known, they're not the biggest ones, but they are good. So that's nice. As for the trailer,
Yes.
I'd give it a solid 8, maybe even a 9, because, like I said, it gave us everything that we want, everything that we need to know, everything that you would like to see in a trailer without giving away too much. The only thing I would have liked a bit more from it, I think, would have just been a little bit more of Ether Gear being shown, because we did see it, especially with Sheik, it looked really cool. But I think it would have been a little bit nicer just to see a little bit more of Ether Gear action. It doesn't have to be specific from Sheik, it can be from anyone. Obviously, I don't want to give away people's powers too much, but because everyone's going to go into this looking for action. That's what they're looking for. And I feel like they could have given that portrayal a bit more.
Okay.
Because I think that's what's going to attract people, is the fact that they see Shiki flying around. And a lot of people who don't know anything about it are going to assume that his power is flight. When there's a lot more to it.
I was going to ask King if that's what he thought, but yeah, I forgot that he read the first chapter.
Yeah,
sorry.
For someone that's anime only, it's going to look like he's got some flying powers. And when they find out what that is actually gravity, it's really going to... And I mean, like we say this every time there's a fight, he uses it in such new and unique ways. It's always great to see. So I think if they demonstrated that a bit more, it would have been a little bit better. But that's just me nitpicking. Other than that, I think it was great. What about you?
I agree. I liked it a lot. It's probably an 8. I'm not being too nitpicky or critical of it because I know what to expect. I like the fact that a good portion of this trailer was focused on the first chapter. And then obviously we got introduced to other characters later on in the series. But I like that the main focus was the first chapter. So for those who feel like this could have potentially spoiled a lot, it really didn't, because it just focused on the first chapter. It did give you character introductions to other characters in the series. But I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the only thing that could have probably made it better is it was like, boom, here's episode 1, watch it, enjoy it, and But other than that, I didn't really have many complaints with it because I thought it was a better trailer. That I thought the animation for it was a lot better than anything Fairy Tail had in its last season or second to the Tartaros arc and the Sun Village arc and even some of the Alvarez arc. So I thought, okay. And then again, I love the voice acting. I love the action, like you guys mentioned. The bright colors. There's a nice contrast to what I was accustomed to with the Hiro Mashima animated series. So yeah, I give it an 8, maybe 8.5, but solid trailer. And then I'm just even more excited than I was before.
Just while you're talking,
Mhm.
I had a bit of a Google about the sub thing, about the fan subs. Because obviously there's a lot of groups out there. I won't put names out because you don't want to really promote it, but there are a lot of groups out there who do fan subs that are, I say, respected. In reality, they don't actually fan sub; they just rip it off of other sites. A couple of them have actually voiced that they might pick it up, and the ones that have are somewhat trusted to do decent enough fan subs. So I guess that's where our saving grace might come in.
Oh, that's fair, but a lot of people who have Netflix won't know about the fan sub. So again, it could just add some confusion to the actual. I just hope.
Oh no, I know what you mean. But I'm just saying for like.
Like for the weekly binge.
For the weekly binge, I think we have a bit of a saving grace there. However, they've voiced that they might pick it up. They haven't said if they will, because they recognize that it'll be a bit more difficult because of the fact that there is no Western release, basically, which makes it harder for them to get everything as accurate as they can.
Well, I would argue that they have the fucking manga. It's out there.
Agreed. It's just whether or not they actually read the manga, which a lot of the fan sub stuff.
To be fair, I don't really think you need to read the manga. Oh, look, this scene looks like this scene in the manga.
Oh, no, I completely agree. It's just I don't know. It's just difficult because if you look at NNT this for their final season, there's like loads of fan subs that come out, and majority of them are absolute dog shit. A majority of them are awful. There's like 1 or 2 groups that come out and post, and they're pretty good and they're more accurate, but a lot of them are just absolutely awful. Some of them are referring to Purgatory as flipping Underworld. It's like, you're not wrong, but you're wrong. And then one of them was calling it what did he? One of them literally said, not Earth. One of them was, we're in not Earth. And I was like, wait, what? That's not
Earth.
Thing. Yeah, that's literally what one of the fan subs was.
I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle, but my guy, not Earth.
That's literally what one of them was.
Like, yeah, tell me that. What is it supposed to mean? I don't get it.
It was meant to be so the characters are in purgatory, right? They're in hell, basically trying to get out. So it was like, I think the line was meant to be, once we defeat the Demon King, we will be out of purgatory, and they changed to we'll be out of not Earth once we defeat the Demon King. And I was like, that does, even if you put purgatory, that still doesn't make sense. Like it was just their whole, they changed it completely. It didn't even make any sense because purgatory is still on Earth. But I don't know, it was weird. It was not a good translation. And then they changed another thing. One of the attacks. Full counter. One of the attacks was a full counter, and they changed it to like send back or something. Full send back or something.
My guy.
I was like, bro. I was watching it, and I was like, this is incredible how bad it is.
I respect the hustle, but at the same time, like, my guy, what are you doing? Okay, that's fine. So with that news out of the way, let us talk about. Oh no! One thing I do want to mention. Do you guys think that we're gonna get the dub immediately with the release of the subs on Netflix? So
like a simul dub?
Yeah, because
is that what they do for Seven Deadly Sins.
Seven
I'm
Deadly
pretty
Sins.
sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they do
And
for some anime. Yeah, they've done it for like Space Dandy in the past. I think they did it for like maybe I don't remember what it was.
They started with
Yeah,
Kuroko no Basket, even though the series ended and stuff like that.
I think we will. I think they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. That's obviously if they get the time to dub it, but I don't see why not.
It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on it until they actually make an official announcement on their website
definitely.
or whatever. But like, it's possible. I mean, there's still like 2 weeks, right? So it could happen.
Because my thought
3
was, okay,
weeks.
they're gonna release
I don't know the
the
exact
anime.
date, but
Yeah, 10th.
They're gonna release the anime, and it's on April 10th. It starts, and it's gonna be on Netflix Japan, and then internationally, it's gonna be out on August 26th.
That's what the
So,
Netflix trailer from in Malaysia said. So
yeah, well, if it's in Malaysia, the English it's not gonna vary there.
yeah,
So I'm thinking on August 26th they release the series both in English dub, English sub, and maybe other subs, depending on where they are. Because that's what they've done in the past for Seven Deadly Sins, and the Seven Deadly Sins is the only example I have of a series that's new that they have rights to, who they then translate and dub. Other series like you mentioned, Space Dandy is those series have already been out and they've dubbed it afterward. So I'm just thinking maybe they'll do that because that if they do that, I feel like that'll open up even more avenues of mainstreamness for the series, which is I think that's what Danch is going for because, like you guys said, the musicians and the composers aren't the superstars that you'll probably know by name, but they're people who are good enough to where, oh, that name's recognizable. Oh, I've heard their music before. Oh, this sounds like that. So I feel like Kodansha's not putting all their eggs in one basket, but like really going for it with Eden Zero. So I feel like business-wise, they do something like that. I don't know.
well, between the Japanese release date, 10th of April, and then the Netflix release date is 19 weeks. It's almost 20 weeks, 19 weeks and 5 days. If we were to think about it logically, it's looking like we don't know how many episodes it's going to be.
It'll probably be 12.
Yeah, that's
12
what I'm
or 13.
Because JC stuff, as far as I remember, most of their stuff is split cores. So 12 to 13. That gives us 12 to 13 weeks, maybe a week off because of whatever reason happened. Isn't it Golden Week in during that period? So there might be a week off.
The last week of April, the first week of May.
Yeah, so there might be a week or two off. So in that 19 weeks, we can push it to say 15 weeks of that is going to be the anime releasing. And then 4 or 5 weeks later is when it gets released on Netflix. So it's not a far stretch to think that they will release the dub as well at the same time. Because that's a lot of time for them to, and I'm sure they've obviously already been working on it, but to get it dubbed.
Yeah, because I don't see Netflix just spending all this money
just to release a sub and then a dub like a year later. Because releasing sub and dub together just adds more to the Netflix hype of it because both groups are going to watch it.
Yeah, because one thing that I don't think has been discussed is they clearly had to outbid Crunchyroll, well, Funimation now, because Funimation owns Crunchyroll, or Sony owns Crunchyroll and Funimation. They clearly had to outbid them for the licensing rights because Netflix is the only one who's going to have them. So I don't think Netflix would just be spending their money and be like, you know what, it's only going to be Japanese. We don't care. I don't think they do that with their anime because they have tried drastically to improve their anime catalog. They've done a bunch of dubbed recently, and it just I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me for them to essentially again. This isn't confirmed, but Crunchyroll always had the Fairy Tail series, and even had Shokugeki. Funimation had Fairy Tail, and it had the simuldub for it as well. So they clearly had to outbid them to get it instead of them. So I don't think they just want to spend money and be like, you know what, we're only sticking to one language. We'll do subtitles, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah,
I see where you're
would
coming
be
from.
Smart for them to not do that. So they're gonna have to.
You were saying something, King? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that I saw your logic there, and I think what you were saying made sense.
Okay, yeah, nice. All
Yeah,
right.
I hope they do that. I hope so.
I hope because again, there's a lot of potential for this series. It's still very early. We're still barely 130 something chapters in, so there's obviously a lot of hope and potential for it. I mean, there's 2 video games coming out for it next gen, not next gen, but like PS4, PS5 type thing. So I just hope it does well. Now let's shift gears from Eden Zero talk, if you will, and focus on the Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest chapter 77, which was titled. Does anybody have the title by any
Whiteout
chance?
Village.
Whiteout Village. Okay.
Oh, one thing quickly.
Yes.
Actually, we'll do that in Eden Zero part so that we don't spoil King on arcs and stuff.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, we could discuss what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that later.
Okay.
But yeah, Whiteout Village is chapter 77.
King, what were your overall thoughts on the chapter, and what do you expect?
It was interesting. I mean, I'll be honest, I was looking for more, fights in the whole pandemonium thing between the Fairy Tale Mages and Yuko. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily disappointed by seeing this Wraith guy and his well, I don't know what he was, but I thought it was cool, like kind of what Ikaruga did back in the Tower of Heaven, like killing things super fast, whatever, and too fast for the eye can see. Toka and what the fuck was her name? The girl's name?
Ferris.
Yeah, just them kind of wandering around. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest, like, aside from like those brief moments with Wraith, most of the chapter is honestly pretty forgettable. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't necessarily care for it that much. I'm just looking forward to the next stuff when we actually get into the battle content.
You want actual battles and content? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I will say, like, I want more, like, understanding of the mystery revelation stuff. I think Wraith he seems like a pretty cool kind of character, so I'm not against having him around or whatever. There's probably a couple other things that you guys will mention that I'll want to comment on later, but yeah, for now, those are my general thoughts on the chapter.
I am half. I liked seeing the what's his name, Suzaku. I liked him. I've been intrigued by him since he was introduced. And I remember there's been a lot of conversation about, what power has he got? What kind of dragon is he going to be? Blah, 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 blah. And
too shank shit.
Yeah, most people are like, fire. And then a few of us are like, but why would it be fire? We've got like 1 million fire users. And like every other 5th generation dragon slayer has been like this weird, crazy kind of power. I mean, Blade Dragon, got fucking smoke or ash or whatever the fucking dragon he is. So, expect it to be something flipping out of the blue and wild. I will admit I didn't really care too much about the explanation the old lady was giving. But I think it's just because it's still not LNT is not something I care about too much. I just care about what's going on around, not the actual area. But I think after seeing him just cut down whatever the fuck those things were without even moving, like,
you want to see me do that? You want to see me do that again?
See me do it again? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about. Because when he did it, and he's like, "There's no point because it's already done." And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Want to see me do it again?" I've also been watching Bleach recently, and I've recently got to a fight where there's a guy that does that. So like, it's even cooler because I just saw it as well in animated. So I like Suzaku and I'm interested in it. The one thing that I find interesting is obviously he knows about Fairy Tail, and obviously he doesn't like them for obvious reasons because of who he is and who he's from. When he brought up about the only problem is Fairy Tail, blah blah, I'll kill him. When Tuka and Ferris are like, no, please, they're not enemies. And he's just like, yo, I don't give a shit. If they're in my way, they're in my way. I think that's all pretty obvious that there's going to be a fight between them. I think it's going to be an Urza and Suzaku fight because sword versus sword go ching. But yeah.
So, okay. Now I have a question. How the fuck did he get to Elantir?
So that I was thinking about that myself. I have a feeling he might have. This is a very big stretch. It's just because I can't think of any other reason. I think he might have just hopped through when they all jumped through, and he kind of just hid.
So he was in Netherloss with them.
That's what I think. I think he's been following. I
will say this is one of those things I wanted one of you guys to bring up because I hadn't thought of it in the moment, but now that you brought up, it's something to discuss. I don't think that was the case because if that were the case, then he would be much more familiar with Fairy Tail because to have followed them to two places, he would have had to have been close enough to observe and listen. But based on his reaction, he basically has zero clue who they are. So I kind of doubt that's the reason. I'm actually hoping that the reason has something more to do with his own brand of dragon slaying magic.
Well, man's got fucking parallel dimension war, bro. That's how you could slice the thing down. He hopped into another dimension, sliced it up, and then hopped back, fam. That's what it was.
Who knows, man? Like maybe it's like a warp dragon magic or something like that.
Dimensional dragon.
Something like that.
Dimensional dragon. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be really fucking cool if it is.
That would be interesting. I don't know if it is the case, but to me, like that's really the only reason that I can. That's the only way I would be able to make sense of this right now, unless Mishima comes up with Yuta, whoever comes up with the better idea to explain it later on.
These motherfuckers better come up with something good because there's some bullshit.
Very legitimate, like complaint, so to speak. I know you're not complaining exactly, but you're just like, what the fuck, right? Like it's a legitimate thing to wonder.
Yeah, because we made it such a big deal, and I'm sorry if I start ranting. We made such a big deal of, oh my god, we can't ever go back to Edelos. Then somehow they get back to Edelos. That's fine. Okay, I get it. That's cool. Whatever. And then we talk about how, oh my god, it's so hard to get into Elantir without this magic that only Ferris has, but that she has it because she's from Elantir and she's able to do that magic. Or whatever they want to call it. And then we get old boy over here. He's like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I was the Roadrunner. I was the Flash. I just broke the fucking sound barrier and traveled.
Yeah, created a breach and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, they need to explain that because
I agree with you. And a bit of a tangent, but does this chapter more or less confirm that Celine really is the reason that Elantir's magic is overflowing? Like her presence is why it's like a cup that is too full of water.
Okay. This is something that I thought about when I was reading it, right? I do think she is a reason for why Elantir is more potent than it normally is. However, I don't know if she's the reason why stuff is overflowing. Just because I don't know. I don't trust this old lady, bruv. I don't trust this granny. I think she's chatting shit.
I swear she has to be like fucking Oba Baba-sama's Elantir counterpart or something like that.
I'm telling you now, this woman's chatting shit. I don't know. She to first of all, okay, she decides to just summon. I'm not saying it's literally summon, but she decides to call on help from this random brer that no one knows. Right, that's one of the fifth Dragon Slayers.
Girl looks like Uba-sama, by the way.
That's what King just said.
That's what I said.
Looks like he can
Elantir counterpart.
Hop dimensions, right? How would she know about him? Like how? This is what I don't get. Like the Tuka, in fact, when the White Witch, when she was the White Witch, right? She, from what I remember, she didn't know about the 5th generation Dragon Slayer. She just knew about the dragon gods, all right, and she knew about Fairy Tail, which meant that she probably knew about other guilds as well. Well, she did because she went traversing, but she didn't. There was no indication that she knew the 5th generation Dragon Slayers. So why would this witch just decide to be like, yo, let me just ask for help from this guy who nobody, it just seems so weird that she knew to call Suzaku. Why would she have not called Fairy Tail? That's just my thought process. Like, I don't know. I don't trust her. I feel like she's up to shit. I feel like she's chatting shit. I don't feel like she's evil or anything, but I just feel like she ain't telling the whole. I ain't calling her a truther. That's all I'm saying.
She instigating shit. I get you.
Yeah. So I don't know if Selene is the reason why Ellen is gonna go fucking boom. I think there's other reasons. I think
it could be that maybe sorry, I just want to say, like, I think it's possible that Alantir normally is like higher than Earthland, but maybe her presence is like the reason it's an overflow. But if they kill her, it would decrease, but it would still be more than the other regions, the other worlds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust. I don't know. I just don't trust her.
The more I think about it, the more this chapter pisses me the fuck off. There's no explanations to anything, and there's giving us like 1,000 more questions. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Which I'm not against it giving us 1,000 more questions, because it just gives us, plot, but it is just one of those chapters where I'm sitting there like, okay, can I just have the next chapter now? Because now I need to know what half this shit means. Like, first of all, where's all these random fucking the demon or whatever, what are they? The Sukamiyas? Sumikas. Each one of these fallen ones is a Sumika.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to bother.
Sumiaka.
The Sues. I'm just going to call them the Sues, bro.
Yeah. Those things. And then it says that the hands haven't given rise to a Su in decades. To that same extent, Elantir's magic power has been unstable. So the hands, this is where we go back to, like, we've never seen the hands since the first time they arrived. So we go back to the hands. The hands seem to have this kind of, I'm not going to call it godlike powers, but this idea where they can create something. So the hands created these Sus.
But they said it's been a decade, and we know Selene's been there for a while, so clearly it's not Selene that's causing it.
Or maybe it's just like it took this long to create the effect.
Again, this is just giving me a fucking headache. Just all these questions is like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on right now in that regard.
So,
guys, sorry, go on.
It's just like we keep saying, there's just too many questions here. Now this hand has come back. Before the hand, I mean, when we first saw the hand, all of us were thinking there was just some fucking weird creature in the sea. Clearly it ain't. Clearly it's some fucking sentient thing that can give rise to these, I don't know, these things that can wipe out an entire city. So watch the hands be brandished just having fun with her powers, bruv. Watch it be brandished just enlarging herself and going, shit's crazy, bruv. Not literally, but that's just me.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, to be honest, in a literal sense.
But like the chapter overall, I think it started off kind of shit, and then when our boy just did his "it is already done," that was cool, and I like his design. And then I was bored again. And then we went back to with Yuko approaching the gang, and I was bored again because like it wasn't much. It's obviously setting up a fight for the next chapter, and it's called Pandemonium. Basically, it's going to be Urza vs 100 again. That's what her fight was
yet
called.
Again.
Yeah, because remember her Grand Magic Games.
Yeah, Grand Magic
Games. Was called Pandemonium.
I remember.
So.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, and I think Yuta is literally trying to pull that on us because that literally is the final shot of the chapter, I believe, or one of the final shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Natsu's turn to have a Natsu vs 100.
Maybe.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on? Eden Zero, let's go.
No, no, we're talking about pizza. So what
I,
else? It's got to be really good.
I mean,
Ground beef, okay.
yeah.
What else?
Honestly, those four are probably good enough for me, to be honest. I don't really like vegetables on my pizza, and I mean cheese is kind of just. And I feel I'll tell you this. I never get like when I order pizza, I never ask for extra cheese because I know they're never gonna give it to me because they think 99% of people can't tell the difference, and I feel like 99% can tell the difference. So I'm just never gonna spend the extra money because I know I'll get chipped.
Okay, could respect that. A dev.
I like having stuff to do with chicken and so on. Pepperoni as well, but it varies as long as it's not got pineapple.
Why would you put pineapple? It's disgusting.
Yeah, pineapple belongs in a fruit bowl. It doesn't belong on a pizza.
Thank you. Don't tell my wife that. She'll try to murder us. As for me, I think the ideal pizza would be pepperoni, bacon, grilled chicken, some bell peppers, and obviously cheese. Light marinara sauce. And
That's
then
pretty good.
cheese.
I
cheese
will add
crust.
one correction to myself. I can tolerate mushrooms on a pizza.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, not pineapples though. But yeah, all right. That was our ideal pizza. Now let's get on to Eden Zero. Damn, now I want a fucking pizza. I fucking hate you guys. But
I wouldn't mind a pizza as well.
I'm about to buy one for the Snyder Cut tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. All right. Dev, what were the chapters again? 132 and 133.
Yes.
Okay, what did you so obviously we both read it, even if it was right now. What did you think of the chapter? Good talk, good talk.
Bro, my mic just muted for some reason. So like we said last time, the it's starting to pick up again. Eden Zero is starting to actually go places again. You know, it wasn't. We were starting to feel like it's gonna plateau a bit because of consistent same thing over and over. But now, like we said last time, this hyperbolic time chamber is pretty cool. 132, I think. Okay, so the chapter before left off with Ziggy appearing out of fucking nowhere.
That shit was hilarious.
132, I think, did an excellent job of utilizing what's the word I want to use? The surroundings that they have to their advantage. It's a virtual world. So it's a virtual world. Whoever's in control of it can make that virtual world be whatever they want. And that is exactly what Zenolith did. So when Zenolith was acting as Ziggy and he did all that stuff, I think that was an excellent use of I'm going to use brains here. You know, Zenolith himself could have just been like, oh, I'll put Rebecca in danger. Now you have to do it. But he knew that if he had done it, if he alters the entire area and he alters everything around and he becomes Ziggy, it'll have more of an effect. It showed that Zenolith really is the master he's made out to be, which is great.
For sure. Yeah, because he used a bit of his brains, like you said, because he's supposed to be training Shiki.
And I think with that training, as we saw in the chapter after, the training, we don't get to see the whole training arc, which I think is nice. But I am excited to see the fruits of said training arc later on.
Just were you disappointed that it was Xenolith instead of Ziggy?
No,
Or did you like
I'm
that?
not. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it's a really I think it was a very creative way to do it.
Yeah, it just reminds the reader, look, he's still there, still a presence, even if he's not actively there, which is good. Um, what did you think of 133 and your?
I don't know why it keeps happening. 133. Very, very interesting. A lot of information came to us. I'm going to just skip all the training arc stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I liked having Zhao Mei back. That was nice. Having Zhao Mei back was really nice. Just going forward, I like now that Rebecca's going to be getting her own special training. Using the hot spring, or the bath, should I say. Not just because it's going to look nice, but because it puts her kind of where she should be with the others, where she is a lot different to the others. The power that she has is going to be a lot more effective in a way. And it definitely puts her in a situation where it is a one of those, okay, keep an eye on Rebecca, because what she's going to become is even better than what anyone else will be. And it keeps her in her own little spotlight rather than clumping her in with everyone else.
What did you? Yeah, I agree with that. Any other thoughts on the chapter?
The other thing that I found interesting is that Ziggy also lost his memories from 15 years ago. And with Ziggy losing his memories from 15 years ago, just like the Shining Stars have, he apparently went on his own adventure to actually reclaim it. I mean, his wish, now that we know what his actual wish was, his wish was literally to get his memories back. What I want to know is, all of a sudden, we have this information. Is he evil because he doesn't have his memories, so he doesn't know what's happening? Did he get his memories? Or is it a case of his memories weren't what they were meant to be? So there's a lot of questions that came out, and all of a sudden, you see, he says he lost his memories, and he searched for Time to Mother to retrieve them, but he found Shiki, and he stopped. So the fact that he's searched for Mother in order to gain his memories, and then stopped when he found Shiki, it's given us a lot of questions, because is he evil because he hasn't got his memories, or is he evil because of, well, I guess, I don't know, a virus or whatever the other reason might be?
Or was he always evil and then he lost his memories and became good?
Did Shiki, him looking after Shiki, finding Shiki as a baby, turn him good for a sense? I don't know. It's a lot of questions that have come in from Eden Zero for me. And his statement about Nero's empire will be mine.
Yeah, it shows a bit of jealousy. At least that's what I took from it. I think the difference between this type of chapter in Eden Zero versus one like this in Fairy Tale, which was literally chapter 77, is the execution of it is, in my opinion, done a lot better than in Fairy Tale, because for Fairy Tale, for most of it, I was like, okay, and I just had more. I had the same amount of questions, but it annoyed me less, if you will. So that's good. What would you grade these two chapters?
Probably a 7 and an 8. No, other way around. 8 and a 7.
Okay, I would. There wasn't much for me to add because I agreed with most of what you said. The only difference is that I think I'd give both of these chapters an 8, just because I really liked what they were doing. I liked that we spent time actually trading with these characters, or these characters training. And then it was like, yo, the Mashima Troper is like, oh yeah, training's boring, so here, let's fast forward 7 days. So
Yeah.
but other than that, it was the chapter dropped today, but like we discussed off air, we're gonna talk about it next time, just so we could have more content to talk about for Eden Zero.
yeah. Also the other thing I want to note, the art. I went back through the chapters recently. The art's still extremely great, and the details insane. It's getting better and better, and I'm noticing the singular panels, like the one at the end of 133 of Ziggy. The singular panels are just getting better and better each time, and I'm excited. I'm getting more and more excited for the what's the guy's Shura, for Shura's panels, because Shura's meant to be this big bad boy, so I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, the art's still fantastic. I'm loving every bit of it, and just can't wait for more. And I kind of like that we don't have the ridiculous main cast like we did in Fairy Tail. This one's like very much set to like 12 people max, as opposed to Fairy Tail, which had like 100.
Now, with the end, where do you think it's going to end for the first season? Let's say it's a split core. Let's say it's a 2 cores.
First season will probably first season we know they meet Homura, which I think they met right after they got with Whis. I think it'll end before the Belial arc, which is basically the. No, you know what? I think they'll end before Digitalis.
Yeah, you see, that's my thought. So, in the trailer, we saw Hermit, but we saw the shining stars, but we saw him as a silhouette along with Ziggy.
Mm-hmm.
Hermit is the last one to get introduced. And Hermit is in Digitalis, and if I recall correctly from the trailer, we see all of the shining stars except Hermit in more than just the in more than just a silhouette.
Well, yeah,
I
think you're right.
The split core will stop just before Digitalis. I think Digitalis will be the second core. Because that where's Digitalis? Digitalis starts at chapter 29, so that gives us 28 chapters to cover in 12 episodes, which I think.
Well, we know the first episode will probably be just the first chapter because it's over 80 pages. So yeah, I think you're right.
And then if there's a split core, I think the second one, I think that will end just before Belial. I think we'll get to the whole Valkyrie thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We get to the whole. I think it's basically. I think the first season will end before we get the big fight, the Shiki Draken fight.
Yeah, we're not. The first season will definitely end somewhere within. If it's 24 episodes, it'll probably end within like the 50 chapter mark. Nothing else. What do you think?
I'm just reading to see what chapters. See, chapter 50 is Madame Kurenai. Fuck that bitch. Captain Connor. Yeah, I think it will end after that Sun Jewel arc. I think Sun Jewel arc ending is where the first 24 episodes will stop. They could push to Belial, Because remember, like we said, they might change things up a little bit, so they could push to Belial. I just feel like if they did, that might feel rushed. I mean, 100 chapters in 24 episodes.
No, I feel like that would be too rushed.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was another studio, but I don't think JC staff would do that.
So yeah, I think up to the Belial Gore is where the 24 episodes will take us. Let's just hope that it's not too condensed or there's not dragged out too much.
Yeah, let's hope, because if it is, it's gonna cause a lot of disinterest among the fans.
Ping King as well. I think that's it for Eden Zero, really. Because I think because the 134 I started reading it. It looks like there's a lot that's going to happen soon. So that will be good for next time. I don't think there's any other news we need to bring up.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any other news. For those of you in server, this isn't a promise. Some of the mods have been talking that we might try, if we can get good fan subs, or if we can get a way to watch the anime, we will stream it weekly. Maybe each episode a couple times, two or three times in different time zones, so people can all watch it. For those who don't know how to use Google to watch it, but we will obviously let you guys know more about that when we get closer to the time, and it is very dependent on if we can get decent subs.
Yeah, that was always my initial idea. Netflix
Yeah.
kind of threw a wrench in that plan, but here's hoping.
Well, if that's the end of that conversation, do we have anything else that we want to talk about in general?
Not that I'm aware of.
No? Okay. I didn't necessarily have anything in mind either. Craig's, I downloaded the other stuff, so we'll just see where this takes us, but I feel like we'll probably salvage the recordings and I'll just work on it and probably put it out to you in a couple of days, Spidey.
No problem. Oh, and just small update. I am working on the backlog of items I need to work on. Sorcerer Weekly's translator. Nah, never mind. Nothing. Ignore that. Everything's going
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right, everything is going good. Dav, how about you?
Yeah, everything's good. There's nothing really much else we can do.
Fair enough. Well, if that's the case, then we'll just close it off. So, listeners, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the Sorcerer Weekly podcast. We do appreciate your time, and we hope you had a good time. Continue to support us on server. Message Dav and Spider-Man with all your needs. You can obviously ping me if you need anything Twitter related, but I kind of doubt that many of you guys are even on Twitter, so don't waste your time if you don't feel the need to. But if you do, I won't hold it against you. Until next time, just keep watching anime. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because that's the way you'll get notifications, by subscribing and clicking on the little bell icon, and you'll be notified every time we put up a new episode. Especially because it'll come up as a notification if you're not already pinged when the server uploads it through Spider-Man's posts. But thank you guys for listening, and we hope you all have a fantastic week ahead.
Thanks, guys.
Catch you guys later. I'm not recording that. Craig is shit.
It's right there.
That fucking ending, though. That ending speech by King, though. That was some top tier shit.
Dude, that is literally almost the same speech I give every time I'm closing off the Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter talks.
Oh, okay. Because I gotta go do something really quick. I was gonna ask you. Do you want me to upload your Twitter talks to YouTube?
To what?
To the YouTube.
They're already on YouTube.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, that's where I've been putting them.
Okay, never mind then.
Where'd you think I was putting them?
I just on Twitter. And SoundCloud.
No, because SoundCloud, I've already exceeded all my free allowance, so not happening. I exceeded that twice with the